So yesterday I did a video about voice acting and doing improv, and this brought up some really good questions. Namely, how do you overcome the shyness that can creep up when you're trying to run a game? And to be honest, this is a thing that all game masters are going to deal with at some point, but especially when it comes to like role playing certain characters, maybe trying to do different voices, trying to improv, maybe even trying to do like comedic things or playing the big bad and trying to be like intimidating in a sense of like making the character and truly intimidating. Like it can be difficult to overcome our sense of self consciousness. It can be difficult to find a way to act these things out without being like, man, I look like a fool, or I look stupid, or I look silly. And I just want to talk on this for just a minute. And I want to basically say this. Every time you do a new voice or you kind of act out a new character, when you first start out, it's probably going to seem kind of stupid. It's probably going to seem kind of silly. And the truth is, you might not do it very well. You might not do it well at all. But here's another thing. Is it better to do kind of a bad job at role playing a character than to not try to role play them at all? Is it better to put effort into trying to make a different voice and have it be bad, or is it better not to try? So here's the thing. There's a safety net that comes from not trying to act out voices or not trying to act out characters or staying in that kind of like bubble of feeling safe, not feeling stupid, not feeling like people are going to laugh at you, etc. There's a sort of safety that comes with that. And that's a very understandable place to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you to maybe step outside of that box just a little bit. And this is going to be a very brief video. I don't have a whole lot of dissertation on this, but let me just tell you this. In my experience playing role-playing games, I very quickly realized that I was going to feel a bit self-conscious if I tried to role play. Like, for example, voice act female characters. It's like, well, I'm not female. I look and sound kind of stupid doing that. How could I ever make anyone believe they're talking to a female in game if I'm trying to role play it? I may as well not even try. I may as well just let them do heavy lifting of that in their mind. Now, this sounds like it kind of makes sense to a point, but let me tell you that I've learned 100% through experience that that is not actually true. And that's not the right way to think about it. You do not have to convince anyone that you're a woman to roleplay a woman, just like you don't have to convince anyone that you're a man. You don't have to convince anyone you are an orc. You don't have to convince them that you're a dragon. What you need to do is roleplay the characters with confidence. Hey, real quick, do your players ever do unexpected things? Do you ever find yourself thinking, what the heck, all my plans have gone to ruin? These players, as creative as they are, have just gone off on a tangent, and now I don't know what the heck is going on. If you ever feel this way, then I have the perfect tool for you. It's called the Ultimate Plot Randomizer. Ignite your campaign with endless adventure. This ebook contains 4 D100 tables, lets you random roll plot arcs on the fly. Roll on the hook table, the complication table, the climax table, and even on the wild and wacky table to add plot elements that your characters would never see coming. I give this ebook away for free to everyone who joins my email list. It's just my way of giving back and saying thanks to you and giving away a resource that, to be quite honest, I use nearly every single time I play and every time I session prep. If you want to get this ebook, all you have to do is join my email list. Link is in the description. If you sign up, you'll get an email autoresponder sent to you between a few seconds to 15 minutes after you sign up. The time tends to vary, so be a tiny bit patient. It might take it like 15, 20 minutes to show up in your inbox. And make sure to check your spam folder. But in that first email, the download link will be available. Click on it, download, print, boom, put with your stuff. Never get caught without amazing plot arcs ever again. Roll random plot arcs for days and days and days. Your player characters will literally not be able to keep up with how many amazing plot arcs you're able to create, and thus you will never have an adventure go off the rails again. I'm kidding. They'll probably still go off the rails. You'll just be way more prepared. Like I said, link is in the description. Grab that. Don't miss it. All right, let's get back to the video and really lean into it. See, here's the key. If you kind of hesitantly do a little role play and then you back way off because you think, oh, it's not going well, that's not going to probably sell to the player characters. It's probably going to feel kind of awkward. But if you really lean into it and you do it bad, like bad, if you lean into it and you do it badly, for example, you're trying to role play what you're picturing as like a hot woman or attractive woman, a sensual seductive woman, and then you end up sounding like the troll who lives under the sewer. Like you are going to, first of all, probably get laughed at by your players, which is not bad. This is not a bad thing. Secondly, that character is probably quickly going to evolve based on your portrayal of them, and that character might turn out to be much different than you envisioned them, much different than you planned on, but also it's probably going to end up better than you planned on. Okay. I've done this so many times. There are so many times that I had an idea in mind for a character, but the minute I opened my mouth and I started to role play them, they changed. Why did they change? Because there's something that happens when you imagine a character, and then it has to go through a process where it comes through you and you channel it to the world. And in that channeling, that character is most likely going to transform, unless you play it totally safe and you just kind of say the words and you don't really try to act it out. Now, I'm not saying you have to act out every character. I'm not trying to say you have to act out every, you don't even have to stand up and do the motions. Sometimes I like to do that, but sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll just role play it. And sometimes I'll even close my eyes and I'll just make the voices. And the reason is because I'm channeling that character. And let me tell you something. When you put your all into a character and when you really own it and you put your like full confidence into it, you might think this sounds stupid. And objectively, it might actually sound stupid. But your energy is going to give it legitimacy, and your energy is going to help it be more immersive. And the fact that you are owning it and that you are taking it so seriously, and the fact that you are crushing it, like in the sense of like giving 100% of yourself to that role, the players are going to pick up on that energy. And that makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference when the GM sells it with their confidence. It makes a massive difference. Hey, hold on real quick. I have 2 questions for you. Do you love adventure? Do you love random roll tables? If so, then I have the perfect ebook for you. May I present the GM Philosopher's Ultimate Adventure Generator, 163 random roll tables on 310 printable pages governing nearly every aspect of adventure creation. If you love creating adventures and rolling on plat arcs to keep it fresh and new, then this is the ebook for you. Created in ultimate GM Philosopher fashion with random roll tables literally for days and days and days. You will be able to use this ebook to inject freshness into nearly every aspect of your adventure creation. Look at these chapters: selecting the adventure theme, defining the main quest, choosing the setting or location, identifying the main antagonist, determining key NPCs, generating obstacles and challenges, adding complications or plot twists, and more. And in every single chapter, there are all kinds of random tables. Let's take a look at chapter 1 just by itself. Selecting the adventure theme, we have an adventure genre table, we have a primary theme table, setting, environment, tone and mood, secondary theme, cultural inspiration, magic level, tech level, significant supernatural elements, what? Conflict scale, moral alignment, temporal setting, unique adventure hooks. And guess what? If we scroll all the way to the bottom of this chapter, a D20 table of plug and play adventure theme ideas, literally adventure themes you can just plug and play with. And that's only in chapter 1. There are 16 chapters in this book, and many of those chapters have D100 tables. There are over 20 D100 tables in this book. Being one of the newest GM Philosophy products, this ebook, The Ultimate Adventure Generator, is available right now for just $5.99. For just $5.99, you can get 163 random roll tables on 310 print-friendly pages. And guess what? It's available right now on my personal bookstore. Link is in the description. And if you purchase this, not only will you be getting literally random tables for days, but you'll be supporting an amazing channel run by small creators who are trying to make a huge difference in the TTRPG space and really bring a fresh element to it and make the game better for game masters everywhere. So don't delay, grab that in the description. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you on the other side, and make sure to roll a few D100s for me while you're at it. Now, we're playing D&D. We're playing TTRPGs. No one's expecting you to give a Grammy award-winning performance. Nobody is expecting you to perfectly capture Angelina Jolie's voice, and if they were to close their eyes, they would think they're talking to her. In fact, nobody really expects anything. They just expect you to role play the NPCs. They probably expect you to use just your voice for every single NPC. So if you add 3, 4, 5 voices to your repertoire, if you do a little acting, if you do a little theater, if you make it a little bigger, even if you do some hand motions, like for example, when I'm role playing like a big strong orc, I may make motions like this, and I might really own it, and you know what? I will crush your puny skull, right? So it's like if I'm doing that. Whereas if I'm role playing, so if I'm role playing a woman who I want them to take really seriously, who I want them to think is attractive and like pretty, then I actually won't role play her physically because I know I can't do that. I am not the type of person who could pull off attractive woman because I'm a big caveman dude. So I'm not going to role play that out, but I am going to own the part. I'm going to try really hard to speak in a soft voice. I'm going to make it different. I'm going to make it, I'm just going to try to make it as feminine as I can. And I'm going to try to make them believe that there's realness here, real immersion on the part of this female character. She's vulnerable. She has such a depth of emotion, and she really believes in what she's saying. And you know what? She is a little bit attracted to that character she's talking to. That elfish paladin, the gleaming of his armor, the shimmering of his blonde hair. She can't help but to just look at it and admire it, right? So I'm going to try to like lean into that character. Whereas for the strong soldier, I might be able to act it out, right? Because I'm a caveman dude, so I can kind of pull off strong, sophisticated soldiers. So he's going to stand upright and he's going to say, I do not understand why you failed this mission. All you were supposed to do is keep watch. And you know what? He grabs his spear and he points it at you. And he says, I think it's time for you to go to the brig, right? So it's like, I'm going to really own those parts. Now, do I actually pass myself off as those characters? No, probably not. It's a very limited form of theater. However, the fact that I am so committed to the role and the fact that I'm giving it everything I have to give it, that I can give it, is really going to help to sell it to the players. So today, I'm telling you that this has worked wonders in my experience as a GM. I have had, romances. I've had deep relationships built on bitterness and hatred. And I've had such strong emotions between player characters and then NPCs or enemies or friendlies or whatever. I have had these develop. And how were they able to develop? That player wasn't flirting with me when they're flirting with a character. Their character, who they believe in, was flirting with the character that I was role playing, who I believed in. And the immersion and the illusion of reality was enough that it made it feel real enough that they could buy into it. And that's what you need. And the most valuable tool for that is to have confidence in your delivery and in your performance. So boom, that's all I have to say about that. Have confidence in your delivery and your performance. And as a GM, you will grow and take chances. People are going to laugh and you can stop and laugh. You can be like, oh my God, guys, I was not planning on that voice sounding that way. It's just like not too long ago, I ran an NPC bard and I did not really know what was going to happen. But when he stepped out and he started talking, man, I did my very best to emulate Machine Gun Kelly, bruh. You know what I think? Stick it. He just was this dry and did he look and sound like Machine Gun Kelly? No. I was just thinking of Machine Gun Kelly. And then I role played the bard to kind of be that way. That gave a unique feel, a unique way for me to role play it. That was its own. And I really owned the part. And he became a real hit of an NPC. People liked him a lot. This is just an example. Own it with confidence. Lean into it. Be confident in it. And boom, there's my advice for today. All right. Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of GM Philosophy in the Morning. I'm here every single day creating videos about the best game in the world, D&D. I will see you awesome people on the next one. Roll some D100s for me at your next game. Catch you later.